So tonight's the 13th of March, Thursday, 2025. And oh my god, I got to watch Graham Norton live in Brisbane on night one. First of two nights in Brisbane, while he tours around the country and then heads to New Zealand and whereabouts next. And I've been a fan of Graham since I was a teenager. I want to say somewhere between the age of 13 and 15, I became a fan of the Graham Norton show. Again, somewhere between 2007 and 2009, somewhere between that period. And the only reason I became a fan of him was because of one of three shows. I became a fan of Doctor Who, I became a fan of Catherine Tate's show, I became a fan of Little Britain, and somewhere between those lines, Graham's show would either be the last 5 minutes I would catch before I watched one of the other three, or I would catch the first couple of minutes because I just hadn't changed channel yet. And watching those 5-minute bits, I was like, this is really interesting. I kind of like this. I think I like this. And I ended up just sticking around and watching the whole episode and just never leaving. And I've seen majority of the Graham Norton show. There are episodes here and there I've missed, either because I work nights or whether it just be because I didn't realize it was on. My bad. But I always love watching the Graham Norton show. I think it's one of the best chat shows out there, and I've watched a few, and 99% of the time, I stop watching them. Just because I find the humour dry, or I find the host very, why do you have a show? Or maybe just the way that they interact with guests is just very, why do you have guests? But with Graham's show, I've yet to hate an episode. I've yet to hate, his public persona, which is great because you can see why he's had a career that's as long as it is. And when it was announced for their Brisbane show, I was like, hell yes, I'm going to go. I'm not going to miss this. And then the second show got announced, and I was like, should I go to the second show? And then it sold out too quick. But I bought the VIP package, and I was like, okay, what do I do here? Is it just decent seating? Is it what? I don't know. I'm burning money here. And I got the VIP package, and I got the chance to meet him. And it was a quick little meet and greet with 20 other people. But we got the little lanyard, the VIP lanyard, with the tour dates on the back, which, look, this is very clever. This is very clever. Look, I've done VIP a few times with other events I've gone to, and it's probably a QR code, or it's just very plain. But I like that it's got the various dates on the back of it. And then obviously that. But you also got a free book. And I was like, oh, the only book of his I've read is Homestretch. And I do have an opinion up of it on Goodreads, Storygraph, and on one of my Instagrams. But then he also signed it. And he's like, oh, what's your name? And I'll sign this. And I was like, it's Laura. And he's like, it doesn't have a H. Is that weird spelling? I was like, no, it's spelled the correct way. It's very normal. And he signed it, and it was very lovely. And then I told him that I read Homestretch, and I said, I liked that you used the car accident as a way to explore sexuality. It's a very clever book. And he's like, oh, thank you. This is one of my best. And then he goes, Frankie's another one of my best as well. And I was like, okay, cool, great. He's very lovely. In that quick little minute, maybe 2 minutes max, where we interacted, he was an absolute sweetheart. It almost felt as if I had known Graham personally with the way that he interacted, which again is very rare. As someone who's a cosplayer and goes to various kid conventions and has interacted, less than a minute with celebrities, sometimes I'm not left with the most positive experiences. But meeting Graham and being nervous as hell because he's someone I idolize, I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? Am I going to freak out? Am I going to be the worst fan? He was an absolute sweetheart. Very lovely. Very, oh my God, this is your TV personality. You're not a prick? What? Mind you, I only paid $370. So that's one night away in a hotel. And he was an absolute sweetheart, that little minute. And then we saw the show, and from the minute he comes out on stage to the minute he finishes on stage, it is non-stop hilarity, non-stop sparkle, dazzle, shine, so many different stories. Majority of them are of his public persona, and I guess not a lot of his personal life, which is fine because there are celebrities out there who are like, no, personal life off limits. It's fine, no big deal. But no, so many stories he shared, and within the time frame he had, and he did run over a little bit by like 30 minutes. I'm not complaining. Like, I would be happy to continue sitting here longer. But he shared a lot of stories of the Graham Norton show. He shared some stories, prior to that, his radio days, his first television appearance, the celebrities that he's met or may have not met. And like he did a little tangent of his wedding as well, how he went back home, got married there, and how the town was like, we saw all these celebrities, and Graham's like, no one rocked up to my wedding. It was just friends and families. It's just people we legitimately knew. But watching Graham on stage, and I get it, this guy's been in the spotlight, since the 80s, since the 90s, so he knows what he's doing. He's media trained, or he's publicly trained. That sounds like a dog, I'm sorry, but that's, you understand what I mean. Like, he knows what he's doing. But watching him on stage, there is just a pull to him that you just sit there going, I feel like that if I was friends with you, this is how our interaction would be. If you and I went out for drinks, this is the interaction we would have. Like, this doesn't feel like a celebrity with fans. This doesn't feel like someone who is above people acting like they're being forced to be here. Graham's personality on that stage felt like he was one of us, felt like he was just like, look, I'm going to have fun, you're going to have fun, we're going to dick around, we're going to see what happens, and we're just going to enjoy the show. And it's phenomenal. Show started at 7:30, pretty much bang on the dot. He gets up, introduces himself, like we need that, but he also did warn everybody that this is not the Graham Norton show, this is not the show. This is him, his one-man act, and him telling his little stories. And he was amazing. He did do a Q&A at the end of the show, towards the end anyway. And again, that banter. I don't think many celebrities would have the banter that he has to their audience. When we asked questions, he was like, oh my God, that's so rude, or oh my God, like this. Like, he wasn't being an asshole. He was having that playful banter, and we played back to him. And again, I don't know if this is because Australia and the UK, or at least in his case, Ireland, have similar humor levels. We know how to take the piss out of ourselves. We know how to be that multifaceted layer of character and storyteller, and have these interconnections that almost feel like we are just one of the same. We know our humor, and as someone who was raised in a lot of British comedies, I can see that in us. And Graham sticks to that. Like, I'm pretty sure if he sat in the crowd, none of us would have minded. All of us would have been like, yeah, he's one of us. I loved it. I had a blast from start to finish. I was laughing. Everyone in the audience was laughing. We were clapping. We were cheering. We were just like, this is a night out with friends. Like, this is not, we're sitting here because we paid our money and we want to see this guy. It's like, no. Are we at a pub night? Like, is this guy doing pub trivia? We're just having fun. Is this guy just, trying to keep us happy? Like, just because we know this guy? I sat there by the end of the show going, I feel like I'm a Graham Norton friend. Like, I feel like I know this guy. Okay, realistically, I don't. He probably doesn't know me from a bar of soap, and I don't really know him from a bar of soap either. But just sitting there and watching the way he warms to the crowd, and the way that he just so magnetized, and it's just phenomenal. He will have night 2 in Brisbane, which is on the 14th, and then he will go to Melbourne, Sydney, New Zealand. Oh yeah, he ends the show in New Zealand, but he already did Perth and Adelaide. If you can, which I doubt you can because the tickets are sold out between Australia and New Zealand, but if you can, go see him live. He is amazing. He is 10 times phenomenal. He is pretty much exactly the way he is in the Graham Norton show, but like just up the end. You get to be close and personal and intimate, even if you're in a room with other 1,000 other people, but it feels intimate. Now I have one of my goals, and one of my goals has always been to travel to the UK. And now I'm like, I kind of really just want to sit in on a Graham Norton show. Like, that is the ultimate mega goal when I eventually figure out how the hell to get out of Australia. Like, I'm just in here going, shit, I want to leave Australia, but also like, yeah. You know, like, this is what you get when you're trying to survive. You just question whether it's possible. But no, that's an ultimate goal, is to be able to sit and see a performance live. And he did share some little behind the scenes of the show, like how the audience is only like 500 people, and he's got his guests and musical acts, and how it all comes together to an extent. And it was really interesting to hear. But yeah, no, Graham, if you get the chance, absolutely see Graham Norton live. You will not regret a thing. You'll be pissing yourself with laughter. You will get abs from laughing so hard, because by the end of it, I was like, I'm pretty sure I got a stitch. I don't want to stand up and move. I know there's a crowd trying to leave, and I know security's trying to get us out real quick, but like, I need a moment to breathe. Like, my hands are sore from clapping and then cheering. Just absolutely see him live. Oh, I do have to say, like, even though I did get Frankie signed and free-ish, I did also, he did a merchandise for sale, and it was more books, because why not? I am also a book reader, but these were the 3 that were on sale. There was also one more called Homestretch, but like I said, I've already read it. I already have a copy. Like, it's not the biggest of deals. So I got Frankie for free, brought Holding, Forever Home, and A Keeper. I'm quite excited to give these 4 books a read. I am fascinated about the way that Graham tells these stories, and I wouldn't say it's chickened out, but I do kind of quit myself for like not asking about whether he would ever delve into a biography. And like, I've read 60 biographies in the past year, which is a lot. Since in January last year, I read 20 alone. But I would read a biography if Graham puts it out. Fictional books, hell yeah, always, guaranteed. But biographies are my lifeblood. So if Graham ever does one, hit a girl up. I would love to give it a read. But yeah, I'm going to take these out. I'm going to continue raving about Graham Norton, and we'll never stop. And ultimate goal, one day to get into his studio like a weirdo. But no, it was a fun night. I enjoyed myself. And I know his next audiences will too. So I mentioned in my video about my little experience of going on live in Brisbane on night 2, and I talked about how I got 4 books. This one was part of the VIP package, and then I got Holding, Forever Home, and A Keeper. I bought those during the show at the merchandise stand, and I kind of also chickened out, sort of poorly chickened out. I wanted to ask Graham, because he's delved into the world of fiction, I wanted to ask him, would he ever delve into the world of biography? For those that don't know, I am a huge reader. I got back into reading in 2022. Prior to that, I took a little break from it, but as a kid, this was my lifeblood, reading. And then in the last year, I've read 60 biographies. January alone, last year, I read 20 biographies. And I'm always fascinated about people's life and the way that they perceive themselves, whether it be on the page or whether it be this is their reality, so to speak. And I know Graham talked a lot about his public persona and the Graham Norton show and his influences, but would he ever write a biography? Would he ever delve into personal aspects that he's comfortable sharing with? Or would he just be like, no, what you hear in church shows, what you hear on stage shows is all you're going to get? I'm genuinely curious. Like, that's my question. So if it ever hits Graham Norton, hi, my question is, would you ever release a biography about your life? Whether it's personal or public life, either way, I would still read it. But would you do it?